Some traditional households in sub-Saharan Africa serve 2 meals a day, one at noon and the other in the evening. First follow-on sentence. Diners then use the starch to scoop up a portion of the main dish, S. That doesn't sound like the first sentence. That's probably later down in the passage. Q. African food can be very spicy, and the starch cools the burning effect of the main dish. Possible, but that sounds like that's following up on the idea of starch and why it's there. The starch serves another purpose as well. Again, that sounds like a further example or discussion of starch. A typical meal consists of a thick stew or soup as the main course. That sounds like it's a first follow-on sentence talking about a typical meal, given the topic sentence is talking about sub-Saharan Africa serving 2 meals a day in a given household. So this is outlining what a typical meal is: some sort of starch bread, rice, fufu, starchy grain paste, similar in consistency to mashed potatoes. U. The main dish is usually served on individual plates. This sounds like the next follow-on sentence to T. It's talking about between the 2 meals, the main dish, or a detail of the actual typical meal. The main dish is usually served on household plates, and the starch is served on a communal plate from which diners break off a piece of bread or scoop rice or fufu in their fingers. So now we've introduced the idea of the starch being broken off. We now have 3 sentences to put together, S, Q, or R. Next follow-on to U could be: diners then use the starch to scoop up a portion of the main dish. African food can be very spicy, and the starch cools the burning effect of the main dish. The starch serves another purpose as well. Well, I see some sort of pattern here in that it looks like S is the follow-on to U. The word then suggests S immediately follows U. The diners break off a piece of bread or starch, same thing, and then they scoop it up. Diners, plural, which ties into the idea of a communal plate that everybody would use the starch to scoop up a portion of the main dish. So this details how diners eat the main dish with the starch. The starch serves another purpose as well. That seems like the best follow-on to S, because it's added to transition word that indicates it follows S. And the other purpose is outlined in Q. African food can be very spicy, and the starch cools the burning effect of the main dish. So I like this order. We've got the breakdown of the order of introducing 2 meals a day in sub-Saharan Africa, followed by a typical meal, outlining in a little more detail the main dish, and within the main dish focusing on starch. 2 different reasons connected by a transition word to indicate how the diners use starch. Let's move on. In the remote mountain country of Nepal, a small band of honey hunters carry out a tradition so ancient it is depicted in drawings dating back 10,000 years. What's our first follow-on sentence? Let's start there. Q. Throughout this entire dangerous practice, the hunter is stung repeatedly. Well, I'm not sure what this practice is yet, so that can't be the first follow-on. Once he has reached the level of the nest, well, he, I assume, refers to a honey hunter, but that's not clear either, so that does not look like a follow-on sentence. To harvest the honey from these combs, okay, I'm not sure what these combs are, so again, we could probably eliminate that as the first follow-on sentence. So now we're really probably looking at S or T. The honeybees that colonize the Nepalese mountainsides are among the largest in the world, building huge honeycombs on sheer rock faces that may be hundreds of feet high. That sounds like it's the correct follow-on to the first sentence, so let's put that up at the top. And that reads now S. The introduction is: a small band of honey hunters carry out a tradition in the Nepalese mountains, and S introduces the honeybees that colonize these Nepalese mountainsides and build their huge honeycombs on sheer rock faces. So the follow-on to S probably would be: veteran honey hunters with skin that has toughened over the years can return from a hunt without... No, actually, that does not sound like the right one. T is a follow-on. So the follow-ons could be Q. Throughout this entire dangerous practice, the hunter is stung repeatedly. Still not sure what this practice is. Once he has reached the level, and I'm still not sure who he is. I assume it's the honey hunter, but why he's at the level of the nest. R. To harvest the honey from these combs, a hunter climbs above the nest. Okay, so we've introduced the honey hunters in the Nepalese mountains, and we're introduced to the honeybees and their nests, or honeycombs, on sheer rock faces. R is a natural follow, and it tells us how these honey hunters harvest the honeycombs. To harvest the honey from these combs, a hunter climbs above the nest, lowers a bamboo fiber ladder over the cliff, and climbs down. Now that sentence U seems to fit in place. The idea of once he has reached the level of the nest. If the honey hunter is climbing down, he must get down, I would think, to the level of the nest. And once he has reached that level, the hunter uses two sturdy bamboo poles like huge chopsticks to pull it away from the mountainside and into a large basket, which is then lowered to people waiting below. Our only remaining options now for the final two sentences are Q and T, and we're down to a 50-50 choice of ordering those two. So what would follow? Throughout this entire dangerous practice, the hunter is stung repeatedly. Only veteran honey hunters with skin that has been toughened over the years can return from a hunt without the painful swelling caused by these stings. So I think Q would come before T because it introduces the concept that throughout the practice, the hunter is stung repeatedly, and then only a transition word. Among those hunters, only the ones with thick skin toughened over the years are able to return from the hunt without the painful swelling from the stings. So I like the order we have in this one. Let's move on to the third.